Well, first crappie of the morning. I caught a bass just a minute ago. First crappie, good crappie right there, boom. And I'm staying back from the brush pile and I'm throwing that swim bait. That's a shiny swim bait right there. Got it topped with an 1/8 ounce jig head. Anyway, we at the lake today, and we back at Hyco Lake specifically. It is the 28th, and we're gonna catch some crappie today. So hey, stay with us, and I hope you enjoy the video.
That's a nice one. Yes, sir.
Boom! That's a nice one right there, y'all. Woo, doggy boy. Wildlife Adventures, that's how we roll. So again, what I'm trying to do, when I first get to a particular structure, what I like to do is always, the wind's puffing pretty good. I hope you can hear me okay. Wind blew hard yesterday too. And I'm trying to stay back about 40 feet, cast to these fish. They are sitting on some structure that is under the water. They are sitting on some structure on a drop off. And before I get up on them, I will vertical fish these fish as well. But before I get to them, you know, I'm just gonna cast out, trying to stay back 40 feet. Sometimes the trolling motor gets to rolling pretty good, and you know, the boat's gonna do this in the wind a little bit. That 1/8 ounce is gonna drop about 2 foot per second. We don't want to get hung in the structure, of course, and we'll just make some casts out into where the fish are at. And it doesn't take long in this wind to float off your spot. I would normally put a buoy marker on this structure, but that just shows everybody exactly where it is. And I may fish here for a little while, catch a few fish, move on. Again, as always, we're gonna let that lure drop down in the fish, and it looks like this 1/8 is probably dropping probably faster than 1.5 foot per second. Looks like it's about 2 to 2.5 foot per second. I may switch to a 16th. Sometimes when you buy jig heads, they will say an 1/8 on them, but they're actually heavier, or they may say a 16th, they may actually be heavier. You know, once you fish so long, you know about how long a true 16th takes to sink, or a 32nd. And so sometimes just be careful when you're buying jig heads. Sometimes I will look at them and I'll say, well, I'm gonna buy a 16th because it's probably more closer to an 1/8, because you have to take into consideration the size of the hook, and you know, if it's got those glued on eyes. It's a lot of different things to take into consideration. Now, many times I noticed here that it's kind of strange, the wind. Now, once my lure, I switched up, didn't I? Once my lure gets down in the fish, then I'm just going to barely move that lure along, and you see my boat is going back. Ah, boy, that was a good one. You know, the boat in the wind is swinging right to left, and so once my lure gets down in the fish, drops down into the fish, I want that lure to swim through the water column kind of like this. maybe slowly falling. And to kind of look natural. These fish are holding the top of the fish. There's some fish up about 12 feet, and they're not hunkered. They're not hunkered down, real tight, which is good. I like to see crappie when they're up in the water column, and this is going to be a pretty good fish right here. You know, another 10.5-inch fish. That was caught on that LC shad. That's that shiny swim bait right there. Boom. And you know, good fish. There's 11-inch fish right there. Reacted good. That's just that color. Hope you can see it. That color. See how translucent that looks? See all those glitter in there? And I don't have my glasses on, so it's a little more difficult for me to see it, but it's got a little bit of a natural hue to it. You notice it's got almost a bluish hue to it. Now, if you put a minnow in your hand, that looks just like a minnow. I mean, just like a minnow. And see the narrowness of that body? See how limber that tail is? So when this lure swims through the water, it not only that tail is wiggling like this, but that body will cream. You ever seen an injured shad? An injured shad, when he's hurt, I've caught enough in a cast net before, you throw some back, they'll kick, and then they'll kind of float sideways, and they're trying to upright themselves. This thing just mimics a small shad, but anyway, let's move back up that catch fish. So while I'm moving back up, let me tell you what happened yesterday. So I took this week off. Well, let me just tell you my story. So I took some time off this week. I was going to bow hunt last week of October or so. Good time to bow hunt. And didn't get to go bow hunting but one time. Had some family things to do. But went fishing yesterday and got skunked. I'm telling you, didn't catch a bass, didn't catch a brim, didn't catch a perch, didn't catch nothing. I went to Falls Lake, which is around the Raleigh-Durham area, north of that. Went in the upper end and was fishing those creek channels up there, deeper water, 12 to 16 feet of water. Lots of crappie. I found crappie, boom. They was everywhere. I did everything I know to do to catch them. Jig the spoon, reaction bite, hair jigs, rubber jigs. They just would not bite. I hung 2 fish, did not get either one of them in the boat. And I stayed on them about 2.5 hours. Because there were so many fish there, I just knew that sooner or later I would catch some fish. But the bite was just off. Don't know if a low pressure went over. Don't know what the problem was. Really don't think it was fishing pressure there, but I got skunked. And it has been a whole lot of years since I got skunked going fishing. I at least catch something, you know. If crappie are not biting, I might catch bass or catfish. But, it was a rough day yesterday. I see. So that goes to show you just don't catch fish all the time. And it gotten late in the afternoon, and I could have came back here, but I figured if fish weren't biting there, they weren't biting here. You can comment. That was October 27th, and it was just a bad day. It was just a bad day. So let's catch another fish. We're gonna swim this shiny again across these fish. Now, as long as fish are coming up and striking, and sometimes they like a bait, especially the water temperature is 61 degrees right now. Fish have came up in the water column and it's fall, they're feeding and they want to chase. I'll sit back and cast to them because that keeps them from getting spooked. Now the sun is kind of low right now. As the sun comes up, those fish will push down in that water column. I'm just moving it along, just barely moving it along. And these fish are reacting pretty good. You know, that's another decent sized crappie. That crappie's 10 inches right there. Boom. Pretty crappie, pretty crappie. Again, caught him on the shiny. Boom. Now I'm gonna switch swim baits. Let's try a different one. Just to see, when you make a cast into the wind, and I've said this on other videos, when you make a cast into that wind, you've got to pull the rod to allow more line, because you want that lure to go straight down and to get as deep as you need it to be, if you know what I mean. Because that wind pushing against that loop in your line is going to keep that lure from sinking quite as fast. All right, let's try it again. So as I'm talking to you, see, I pulled the rod back here and allowed probably 10 feet of slack. And hopefully that dropped, you know, that got me down, straight down about 10 feet. Then I can wind through the fish. And we'll see. Boom. Oh. Put a little drag on this one now. Watch out. Boy, I love these fall crappie. Man, they hungry. The water's cool. They feel scrappy. Oh yeah, good fish. Boom. Okay, another swim bait. He liked the blue boy. That is the blue boy. That little chartreuse tail swim bait. Lake country baits. Good crappie right there, y'all. Oh, nice crappie. I'm gonna spin around real quick. Try to stay in the strike zone. All right, here we go. Pull my rod back. That allows that lower 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be about 10 foot deep there. Now, I felt him thump it. I had taken the slack up. A lot of times they hit it on the fall. Boom. You know, another keeper fish. This fish is probably 9 3/4. Boom. Blue boy, swim tail, chartreuse. They're reacting good to that blue. They like that blue color. They like the gray too. And one of the things that's happening is, since this breeze is blowing about 8 miles per hour, 6 to 8 miles per hour, with that 16th 6-pound test line, this 16th is not staying down in that water column. It's coming over the fish. They will come up 2 or 3 feet, but they're not coming up 5 feet because they're hovering around that drop off down there. So we'll see if we can get this one down into where the fish are at. All right, guys. So here's the country. Here's the baits from Lake Country Baits. Now the one shiner, that is the color I was just catching those fish, a shiner. There it is, boom, right there. And there's another one, shiner Virginia shad. There's the difference in the colors, if you can see them. I'm gonna put that Virginia shad on, try that. Now that has got a bluish hue, blue metal flake. Looks good, looks just like a minnow. And I'm gonna lay it on the deck. I'll hold them just like this. There's a little difference, it's not a lot, in the colors. See, I like that one right there. I like that Virginia shad, but you can see the difference in the colors. I'm gonna move them around. And a lot of metal flake in these. Dennis does a great job with these. And just another bait for your box. Now the one thing that I do, see that tip right there? I bite it off. And I just square the nose off a little bit. And I'm gonna thread that on as straight as possible. Always as straight as possible. and you'll end up, you want it straight so it'll run straight. So look at that hue in there. Hey, that thing's gonna catch a fish. You just watch and see. Thump. Love that thump. Boy, he thumped that thing. You probably seen the rod jump. Love to feel that thump. Another decent sized fish. You know, another fish in that 10-inch range. He's hooked pretty darn good. Sometimes these sickle without hurting the fish. Boom, good fish right there. You know, that's a 10-inch crappie. Again, that's a Virginia shad and a swim bait. Get hung up pretty quick. Boom. Ooh, boy, don't you love that thump, baby? Ooh, dog. Love that thump. Oh, this one's cutting up right here. Grace, where you going, big boy? This might be a bass, y'all. No, it's a crappie. He's a wild thing, ain't he? He's good gracious. That joker's wild. All right, there he is. Virginia shad, baby. He liked that thing. Now, he actually followed that out of the school. Good size crappie. Man, that's good. That's good eating size right there, y'all. And I'm not keeping fish today. I guess I should be. Boom. Now I'm gonna start my retrieve back. You notice how slow I'm bringing it back. I want to keep it down there. Just look. I want it to look as natural as it possibly can, swimming through or by the school. And hopefully we have one that'll peel out and say, hey, I'm gonna eat that. Just like that right there. Boom. Boom. Boy, this is so much better than yesterday. Gosh, man, I tell you, I was frustrated yesterday, y'all. I'm glad I won't fish in any kind of tournament yesterday. Boom. You know, why not a pound fish, but you know, good size eating crappie. Boom. And again, caught him on that Virginia shad. All right. Here's another one on the, I think this is a shiny, not the Virginia shad. Another good fish. Boom. There it is. That's the shiny. Right there. That is the, I'm sorry, shiner. Dennis will correct me in the bottom of the description if I got it wrong. But anyway, we've been on these fish for a while. We've caught a lot of them. They're getting a little lethargic. They're getting a little spooky, if you will. Many times if you get on fish, there's a fairly good, a large amount of fish here. You get on fish and you fish them for a while, whether it's a boat dock, bridge, or whatever, and you can leave for a little while and come back, and they'll be biting again. I noticed they're getting a little spooky. They done got lower in the water column. And I noticed the school of bass moved in. They got them nervous too. But anyway, we're going to end this video. All in all, it's been a good day. Fish reacted really good today, and they bit good. We caught them all on the swim baits today. Lake Country baits, look them up, in a variety of colors. And those baits did real good. Those fish are getting more reactive this time of year. They will come up and chase. And so anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See if you can get 2 other people to subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. That was my goal starting this channel. So you remember, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Don't forget to click that like button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Wildlife Adventures. And as always, you remember, it's a wildlife, and I'll see you on the water.